want them to be close together. You want kind of a little more broader of a stance. And then you want to bend your knees. You want to have your back up straight. You don't want to be leaning forward or anything. You want to be nice and upright. And then we don't want to be showing all of this target area to our opponent. Because in epee, what we're using, full body target. So I can hit you on that arm, and hit you on your foot, hit you on your head, it doesn't matter. I can hit you. So you want to show as little target area as possible, so you want to turn, not completely sideways, but about, not quite 45, but a little bit more of a turn away from your opponent than a 45. And head up. You don't want to put your head forward, because put your head forward, that's target area, and that's close to your opponent. So, next comes the arm. You want to be nice and relaxed. So just first off, just put your sword straight down and have it line up with your front foot, facing your opponent. Alright. Now we're nice in this comfy stance. Really all that we have to do from this point is just raise our arms straight up at our opponent. There you go. We almost want our arm to be perpendicular to the ground, but it's a little bit of an incline. And then we want our blade to be pointed right at our opponent, either here, here, or here. So one of these three spots. That's where you want the tip to be pointed. Not where it's like I can see that in front of the tip, but my tip is pointing right at your face. So right there. So that when your opponent looks at you, they look straight down the blade onto the bell, and they can't see any of your arm. Your arm is the most vulnerable part of you because it's the closest to your opponent. And in epee, that's what you're going to try to hit first. You're going to want to go for the arm because that's closer. You can say, oh, I don't have to get as close to you if I want to hit you here than if I want to hit you here. Like that's a lot closer. So I would want to go for that shot first. So if you hide your arm completely behind your bell, like this, then it's going to be much harder for your opponent to see you. And if you're showing some, the key is not to move your bell, the key is to move your arm. So what you want to do is have this here. We're using yeah, that's good. Right. Alright, and for both pistol grips, you can either hold it as with your thumb going up, or a lot of people want to hold it just to the side, with your thumb pointing out about a third degree angle from the vertical. The reason you don't want that is because you'll have a lot more power going when you're doing your parries, initially making your parries, and you'll actually be able to hide your arm better, because this thickness of your arm is smaller than this thickness most of the time, so you'll be able to hide it a lot better. And you'll be able to cover this side portion of your arm. So a lot of times people will sit with their thumbs pointing up here, but if they just rotate it like this, it hides it completely. See, it's up here, and all I have to do is rotate it and just hide it. Yeah, it just immediately hides all of that. So a lot of times you'll see people, especially with a French grip, which is that grip over there, the long, normal-looking sword grip. A lot of people using that will have it just laying along the top of their arm, because that's how they can hide the rest of their arm very easily that way. Either way, both of them basically will end up doing the same type of motions. There's very little difference between them. So, all right. So on guard. Okay, we're just going to practice on guard. Remember. I like to think an easy way to remember it, if you think you're doing something wrong, think elbow in and bell out. Elbow in close to your body, bell out, and then also tip in. There you go. Much better. It's much better to show this part of your arm than it is to show this part of your arm. So, but showing neither of them is preferable. So, right about here. Keep this arm fairly close to your body. You don't want it to stray away. And, all right, completely relax your arm. But hold on to the sword. If I were to let go, would your arm fall? No. Keep hold on to the sword. But if I were to let go of the sword, would your arm fall to the ground? Make sure to fall to the ground. Let go. Hold on. Loosen. There you go. Very loose. All right. Nope. Let it fall. No, let it fall. Yeah, let it fall. If I let go, just your arm. I'm controlling your arm right now. Don't worry about anything. There you go. There you go. Perfect. Good. All right. Very nice and loose. All right. Now loose. Tighten up again. There you go. Don't follow me. Let go. There you go. All right. Now I'm going to slowly let go and you regain. Perfect. That's what you want to be, nice and relaxed. You don't want this to be tense. The more tense that you are, the less you'll be able to react because your muscle is already contracted into position. It's all about very quick timing. For epee, there's something called a double touch. When both people get in the touch, that touch is determined by 1/8 of a second. So if you're 1/8 of a second within touching, then it will give you, then both lights will go off. And sometimes your arm being clenched and your arm being unclenched can be the difference between getting a double touch or a single light. So the more loose and relaxed your body is, the better it is. Most of the time what we'll do is we'll start up here, and go.
Today's over. I'll take care of it this weekend.
We just sink, and everything sinks. All your arms, both arms, your blade goes low, your legs go down, you just let everything out. It's nice and relaxed, and straighten your back. That's perfect position. Basically, you want everything to be relaxed and everything to be low and nice and relaxed, except for your back. It's the only thing that's wrong, and it's just something we'll have to get used to. But that's your right.
That's something I've wanted to do for a while.
I'll see the same with you. No, I'm controlling you.
No.
Let go.
I'm
Hold on your leg.
because you need
Your
to
wrist,
go right
your wrist and your hand should be the only thing that's strong. I've got everything else.
Scored and grab it from the closet. Yeah, I've got three
Yeah, like-
buttons.
Actually, I'll hold on to your
Why
right.
do it today? You know?
There we go. That's much better. All right. Loose. All right. Good. All right. Perfect. Right there. That's on the right. Yes. Bring your back foot a little bit more in. You don't want to be like this. You want to be this. Your heels lining up on the same line. It'll give you more support. The reason that we don't want to fence like this is because having both feet at right angles gives us a better stability. We don't want to be like this because if we're advancing and we start retreating, then all of a sudden we're falling. Whereas if we're like this, now we have to overcome all of this pressure to overcome that. Whereas this is a smaller surface area we have to push back on. So we want to have this foot forward for changing direction and this one for force. So that's why we have them facing those directions. And it's sometimes okay to turn your leg a little bit, but not a ton. Having it a little bit either back or forward is okay, but that just will depend on your style and what feels more comfortable to you. Every once in a while, I'll end up being like this. So yeah, and you can start off as far as your feet go. So we'll do it right now. So now we're on guard. Next thing you need to know how to do is move. So moving is pretty simple. In advance, it's simply that. You take a step with your front foot and you follow with your back foot. And make sure not to, we don't want to close this distance. We want to keep a nice distance. So, and a retreat is the exact opposite. You start with your back foot and your front foot follows. So I'm gonna do something and you do the exact opposite. So you keep the right distance. All right? So if I retreat, you advance, retreat, advance, retreat, advance, retreat, advance, There you go. Perfect. You'll eventually want to go a little bit lower, but where you're at is good for now. All right, perfect. All right. So that's moving. And we always want to be moving. In epee, which is, this is an epee, what you'll see a lot of times people are just standing there. And that's because the name of the game for epee is waiting. But waiting doesn't mean not moving. So a lot of times people just, especially beginners and many people in this club, will stand there and just wait like this. And that's not always the best thing to do. So make sure that you're always moving at something. It doesn't have to be like pushing or retreating, but just constantly moving. If you stand there, it's easy to take advantage. So if you were doing a different weapon, like foil or saber, there'd be a lot more motion, which I'll explain why. But for epee, you don't need to move as much, but you still should move some, even if it's just rocking in place, because motion is important to keeping your opponent from getting the better of you, because you're moving, so they don't know where you're going to move to. You could be just moving and all of a sudden, boom. So don't forget to move. All right, next thing, attacking. Attacking is very easy. There's 2 steps to attacking. The first one, when you start off on guard, is you find your target and you extend it. It's a full extension of the arm, and that's the only thing that moves, is the arm. Most of the time it will be a twist so that your thumb is up. Almost every single extension will end up being your thumb is up. The only time that won't be is when you're doing a threaten and to do something else. But if you're actually going to lunge, thumb goes up. So lunge so that your thumb is up, but the rest of your body is still in young guard. So you'll start off on guard and it's just extend. And your tips should be pointing right at your target. And you should know exactly where it's going to go. The second part of that is the motion, which is very easy. It's a step with the front foot and a push with the back foot. So using only a step, it's a step, but using only the push, it's a push. So you want to combine the 2 of them so that it's an extend, lunge. And the lunge, your front foot should be perpendicular to the ground. You don't want it to be over or not so far over, but straight up. The best lunge should be that your thigh is perpendicular to the ground, but that is very hard to do, so I don't expect you guys to do it. Lunging here is fine for now. Then your back leg should be completely flat for now, and your back leg should be as straight as possible. So you should push with your back foot, get it completely straight, and then this foot is a step. So we start off on guard, extend, lunge. And when we go back on guard, that's called a recover. And we go back to our